There are a lot of issues in the world that I think need to be solved, but one that I think is really important is the fact that people put themselves in a box. They think that they can only go to a certain level, or they can only be so good at something because of who they are. And I think it's important that people understand that if you're determined and motivated and you set goals for yourself, that you can accomplish hard things. That's something that I've seen in myself and in those around me when they believe that they are who they are, that they can't change, that they can't get better. And that's something that I've found is very sad, and really doesn't allow people to grow. And I think that when people grow and they become better, then they shape themselves and those around them, and they make the world a better place. And so I think it's important that people believe and know that they can grow, they can change, they can become a better person. And it all starts with just changing yourself. And I wish more people recognized that and wanted to do it, instead of just selling themselves short and saying, oh, that's who I am and I'm not going to change. I wish people would say, yeah, that's who I am right now, but I'm going to be better and I am going to change this. I think that's something that I want to change. I want people to know that they can become better, to know that that they don't have to draw a line, that they can step over that line. And I think it's important that everyone knows this. And so that's something that I think is a problem that I want people to fix, and I want to be a part of that. One way I would redesign the way that my school educates me is through testing. It's important that people learn in school, and sometimes people just memorize flashcards or go through the process and get tested and then forget what they learned. And one way I would fix that is maybe having a different setting for testing. I think it would be really beneficial if we got to apply more of what we learned. And yes, we do that in testing, but I think it would be neat if you were almost in like a job setting, at a desk, working. Well, it would be different for every single class, but I think it would be really, really beneficial if people were to feel like what they had learned, they were then able to apply to a real life situation. And then I think another important thing is that someone would be there to help them. Someone would be there to, when they get stuck, to give them a little nudge in the right direction. The reason why I say this is, as I have started new jobs and learned new processes, when I have someone who corrects me in the little things that I forget or I make a mistake in, I learn it so much better. When I make the mistake, they correct me, I then fix that mistake, I remember it. Instead of taking a test and getting a wrong answer and never really worrying about it again. I learn the answer. I learn the process so much better when I'm able to fix it in the moment and realize the mistake that I made. And then I don't make it again. And I'm able to learn more. And I think that would be something, I know it would be hard to wrap your brain around, but I think it would really help with learning and applying more than just taking a test and sometimes memorizing flashcards, which I think most students are guilty of. And I think to enhance learning and keeping that information that you learned, testing would be something that I would want to improve. I played soccer in high school and spent a lot of hours doing that. And so my best and worst experience on a team has come from playing soccer in high school. My worst experience was my senior year. We didn't start out as well as we wanted. And a big problem was because we weren't united as a team. We had some people who were a little bit younger, and they felt like they were the best, and there was no respect for those who were older. And it really divided the team because people felt like they could kind of act however they wanted, and they didn't respect those around them. And it was not good. We didn't play well. We didn't work together. And our practices were off, our games were off, and we just kept getting frustrated until at the end we just didn't have a great season. And that was something that I really learned is even if maybe you're a better player, there's still respect that you need to have for those around you. They made the team. They're working hard. They want to show who they are. And so you should respect that, even if maybe they're a little bit behind in different skills. I think that's really important, to show a lot of respect to your teammates no matter where they're at, and to help them instead of putting them down. But it was amazing to see that throughout the season. We just didn't do as well as we wanted, and we kept getting worse and worse and worse until our last home game. And we became very united. And the reason why is because one of the girls, her dad had passed away very suddenly a few days before. And so for the game, we all wrote his name on our arms. We all had ribbons in our hair that matched his favorite color, and we did it for him. And that was one of the best games we had ever played, because we had something that we were united, that we were all working towards one goal, to play for him, and that we put all of our heart and our might and everything we had on that field. And though we lost last minute, it was the best game we had ever played. And it was amazing to me that we could put our differences aside and have that one cause. And I think that's really important with working with a team, is that you are united and that you have a cause, and that you all are aimed towards that. That's where you can really succeed. I never really know how to answer the question, tell us anything about yourself. Mostly because I feel like in all the other questions, I feel like I tell them certain things about myself. But one thing I did think of is, in high school, I used to be this really, really shy girl who would walk down the halls looking at the ground, looking at my feet, so I wouldn't have to say hi to people. It was really bad. I finally admitted it to my mom, and she's like, you need to grow out of this. You need to talk to people. And I had friends, and I was playing on the soccer team. I was involved in certain things, but there's just this element of nervousness, of shyness. And then I started college and grew a little bit out of it, but then I went on my mission, and it changed everything. All of a sudden, now I had to look up and say hi to people and approach them, and it was really scary. And as I came home, I realized that I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be that person that said hi to a random person and made their day, complimented someone on their outfit, and, helped make their day a little bit better. I wanted to be that person that was involved and knew people, and when I saw them would say hi and start a conversation with them. I wanted to change. I wanted to not allow my shyness to control me, to step out of it. And as I've done that, I've grown a lot, and it's been amazing to think about who I was and who I am now as I continue to apply for different things, so that way I can get outside my comfort zone. That's something that's really important to me, is to get outside my comfort zone so that way I can grow and become better instead of hiding and, selling myself short of what I can do. So that's something that I think you should know, that I am growing, I am changing, and that I want to have experiences that help me to do that. I want to help others. I want to be involved. I want to get to know new people, which I couldn't say a few years ago, but I do now. And I think that's something that I want to continue to develop and to continue to grow.